This case is emotional for each side. I want the audience to remember that this is a courtroom. I'll ask you to present in this courtroom as properly as you are required to do, and no outbursts, or you will also be asked to leave. We are on the record with file 255858-FH. Could you state your name for the record, please? This is the date time set for sentencing. Would the attorneys please place their appearances and P number on the record?
Yes, Your Honor, Samantha Jonas on behalf of the people, P80741.
Luke Paul on behalf of Ms. Porter, P85059.
Thank you. This is, Ms. Jonas. Have you had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report?
I have, Your Honor, I have no corrections. The only addition I would say is, I did speak with Ms. Carneve, or Agent Carneve this morning. Somehow the clerical staff did not attach the 40 impact letters that were part of this. So she has assured me they are part of the MDOC file. I respect that obviously the court not receiving them, they wouldn't have been able to, even if received them this morning, the length of them. But I want to make sure that that is accepted as part of the PSI, and it has been assured to me that that will be going to the Michigan Department of Corrections.
As with mine, I do not have those letters attached to mine. I do have the sentencing memorandum, but I do not have those letters. Ms. Corneve, you do have those letters to be able to attach those to the pre-sentence report?
I do, Your Honor, and I think the clerical staff had sent them over to you, and they're in there, they were uploaded.
All right,
They're on the computer.
thank you.
Sorry.
All right, so they will be attached.
That's the only addition, Your Honor.
Have you had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, Your Honor, I have no additions or corrections to the pre-sentence report.
Ms. Porter, have you had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report? Do you have any additions or corrections? Anything before sentencing, or do you have a victim reflections?
I have the parents, the wife, and the children, along with at least 2 siblings that would like to speak, Your Honor. So the first individual is Dan
Well,
McKinnon.
we're gonna have to, we've got how many?
Or I did, so I think it's a total of 8. I did email the court.
Dan, if you're ready. You can stand or sit next to me, so whatever is easiest for you. And that's the chair if you would like to sit.
Where's the mic?
Right in front of you.
Right when the screen went there. The court's gonna issue your name first, just so that it's on the record.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Could you state your name for the record?
Dan McKinnon,
Thank you. Go ahead. How are you related?
I'm the father.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I stand here today a broken man. A broken father. My son Matthew was taken from us. And nothing about this is fair. A piece of me died with my son that day. The pain is constant, it follows me every morning. Every night, I'm angry. I question why Matt, why not me? For 30 years, I worked side by side with my son. We built business together. We solved problems together. We shared dreams. We talked about life, about our faith. We never had a crossword between us, not once. Who has a relationship like that between a father and son? Now he's gone forever. wife and I raised 7 children. Matt is the 4th born. And everyone who knew our family knew the same truth. Matt was the best of us. He was strong, compassionate, hardworking, always the first to help others. He loved deeply, and he was also deeply loved. His life matters so much. Now his wife lives the rest of her life without the man she loved. His daughter and son will grow up without their father's advice or protection. My wife cries for the loss of a son. His brothers, his sister, grieve for the brother who held his family together. And over 50 McKinnon members now carry the wound that will never fully heal. People speak about move on. There's no moving on. You lose a son. I'm angry because my son's life had value. I'm angry because Carrie lost the love of her life. I'm angry because their children, Cameron and Taylor, deserves their father. And I am angry because our family now carries the life sentence of grief. Nothing this court does will ever bring that back to us. Nothing can undo the destruction that has been done. But justice still matters. It matters because Matt's lives matter.
Thank you.
Matthew's mother.
Good morning.
Please state your name for the record, please.
My name is Charlotte McKinnon. I'm the mother of Matthew, the Honorable Judge. How has the death of my son, Matthew David McKinnon, impacted my life? Where does a mother begin? What words could ever fully convey such an enormous loss? Matthew David McKinnon. The meaning of his name is gift of God and beloved one. Matt fulfilled the meaning of his name in every possible way. He was the 4th of our 7 children, with 5 brothers and 1 sister. As a child, Matt was compliant and quiet, and as an adult, he is loving, kind, generous, faithful, patient, joyful, and a true man of peace. He was a cherished gift, deeply loved by our entire family, by the employees of his printing company, and by all who knew him. He was the kind of man who brought a calm and encouragement and goodness wherever he went. Mothers are naturally nurturers and fixers. I have kissed the boo-boos, applied the bandages, listened, counseled, comforted, and encouraged my children throughout their lives. But I cannot place a bandage over the pain caused by Matt's premature death. I cannot fix this. He is gone, ripped from our lives, and the sorrow runs deep. I feel helpless as this tsunami of grief crashes through our family, wondering how far it may push his brothers, his sister, his wife, or his children toward despair. I am deeply concerned for the devastation left in its wake. My heart aches for Carrie, Matt's wife, and for his 2 children, my precious grandchildren, Cameron and Taylor. The morning after this tragedy, I watched my 76-year-old husband rise at 5 a.m. to meet face to face with Matt's employees at the print shop, to personally tell them that Matt would not be coming in. I watched a grieving husband step into the leadership of the business, assuming long hours and overwhelming responsibilities due to an untimely and heartbreaking transition. Honorable Judge in the court, this has been incredibly hard. sincerely say that without our faith in God, I do not know where my husband, Matt's siblings, his wife, or his children would be today. It truly feels as though when someone greater than ourselves is carrying us through this darkest hour. What I see today are two hurting families, not just one. The McKinnon family and the family of Dalahna Porter. Both have been forever impacted and changed by Dalahna's decision to drink and drive, and not merely by a little, but by extreme intoxication. The night the officer came to tell us of Matt's death, I looked him in the eye and asked, "A drunk driver?" He did not have to answer. Soon enough, we learned it was true. How did I know? Because that Matt was far too careful, alert, responsible for his death to happen any other way. Dalahna, I do believe you do understand the pain my family has gone through and endured since August 6, 2025. I do appreciate that you finally entered a guilty plea. My son Matthew, he loved the Lord, and he lived his life as a reflection of his faith. If he were here, he would tell me, "Mama, forgive her." So Dalahna, I want you to know that I do forgive you. Matt would want me to walk in that forgiveness. So I can say that. While I am grateful that I am not the judge in this matter, I trust this court to determine the path of justice moving forward. I want you to know too, I have prayed for you. I will continue to pray for you. It is my hope that beauty can truly rise out of the ashes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning,
Could you state your name?
Carrie McKinnon, and I am Matt's wife, but now I'm his widow.
Go ahead.
Matt and I were married for 22 years, and in those 22 years, we built a life filled with love, hard work, bumps in the road, but mostly dreams for our future. Matt was not just my husband, he was my best friend, my partner, my hype man, my rock, my go-to for help with anything at any time, and he was truly the foundation of our family. We raised two beautiful children. My son Cameron is almost 22. My daughter Taylor is 20. They're both amazing. They were Matt's pride and joy. I've never encountered a father who shows up for his kids more than Matt did. Matt did everything for us. He loved us unconditionally every single day. 9/12 on August 6th, that was taken from us because someone chose to drink and drive, nearly 3 times the legal limit. My husband is gone and will never, ever come back. And with him, the life we built, the future we dreamed of and planned for has disappeared. I'm left with overwhelming anxiety, despair, loneliness, and grief. The person who stood beside me through everything, through every beautiful time and every hard time, is dead. The silence in my home is unbearable at times. I eat my meals alone. I sleep alone. I watch TV alone. I wake up alone. I get ready for my day alone. I grocery shop alone. I go through the motions of life alone. I'm trying to learn how to live a life I did not choose. It's like I'm living a nightmare that I can't wake up from. My children are struggling deeply, and they will share their pain with you today. The worst part is that Matt won't be here to see their amazing futures unfold. He won't be here for their milestones, their careers, to walk my daughter down the aisle. For grandkids, he will not be there for everyday dad stuff, advice, a shoulder to cry on, hugs, affirmation, and so much more. I'm trying to be mom and dad, but I'm terrible at it. And my children deserve so much more. Our plans, our dreams, our sense of security is completely shattered. Matt was our provider, our protector, our constant, and now everything is uncertain and scary. Beyond losing him, I'm carrying another fear. Matt's large, loving family welcomed me 23 years ago. I have the best mother and father-in-law anyone could ever dream of. I have 6 amazing brothers, 5 amazing sisters, and over 35 beautiful nieces and nephews. But now Matt's gone, and I'm afraid that someday I'll lose them too. I'm afraid that over time I'll be forgotten and the connection we shared through Matt is gonna fade away. The thought of losing not just my husband, our family that I love so much is overwhelming. What makes this even harder to accept is that it was preventable. This was a choice. To Ms. Porter, you made a decision. Let me start by saying I do not forgive you. You made a decision to drink and get behind the wheel. You were nearly 3 times the legal limit. Not an accident, a choice. My husband is gone. My children no longer have a father. Because of your choice, my family will never be whole again. You took my best friend, the person who loved me, supported me, and stood beside me for 23 years. The man who worked ridiculously hard to give us a beautiful life, and you took our future. It's a beautiful life we will not enjoy together. One day you'll walk out of prison. You'll have the opportunity to rebuild your life. A second chance. We don't get that second chance. We do not get to to rebuild what was taken. Our lives are permanently damaged and permanently changed. Matt deserved to live. He deserved to grow old with me. He deserved to see his children's futures unfold, and we deserved more time with him. There's no sentence that can bring him back. There's no punishment that can undo what's been done. But that does not negate the fact that you do deserve to go to prison. Our lives will never, ever be the same. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Cameron, his son, will speak next.
Morning,
Could you state your name for the record?
Cameron McKinnon. My name is Cameron McKinnon, and I am the son of Matt McKinnon. My dad was killed because Ms. Porter made the decision to drive while intoxicated, nearly 3 times the legal limit. That choice permanently changed my life, my sister's life, my mother's life, and the lives of everyone who loved him. Just before my dad died, I was preparing to pursue my dreams, move to New York City, begin school, and start the future we had planned together. He was super involved in that dream. We toured schools together, talked constantly about my future. He was excited to watch me build a life for myself, and those memories are some of the most meaningful moments I have. After his death, I postponed my move. I had to stay home. I stayed with my mom. Neither of us knew how to move forward. Instead of beginning a new chapter of my life with excitement, I spent those months watching my mom suffer through unimaginable grief while trying to survive my own. I felt an overwhelming sense of fear, responsibility, and emotional weight that I don't think a 21-year-old should ever have to carry. There's no part of my life that this will not affect. He'll never see me graduate. He'll never see my first apartment, my first home. He'll never meet the new people who have now entered my life since his death. He will never be at my wedding. I'll never get to call him when I need advice, when I'm struggling, when something exciting happens, and he's the one I want to tell first. Those moments were stolen from me. And the hardest part is knowing that this is preventable. My father did not die because of an unavoidable accident or tragedy beyond anyone's control. He died because someone chose to drive drunk, and as someone about the same age as her, as Ms. Porter, I know she's more than old enough to understand the danger and responsibility that comes with making that decision. Every day I live with the aftermath of that choice. I feel lost in a way I never expected to feel this young. I feel sadness constantly, feel anxiety about the future. I'm angry that my family has to carry this pain forever, while the person responsible still gets to continue living. But beyond my own grief, watching my mother's has been most. She is my best friend. And seeing the pain she lives with every single day and being so far from her is heartbreaking. Losing my father did not just take one person from our family, but changed the foundation of our entire lives. He deserved to grow older. He deserved to see the life we talked about for him, for me. He deserved the future he had planned for himself. He deserved more time, and my family deserved more time with him. No sentence will bring my father back. Nothing can undo what has happened, but I ask the court to recognize the depth of this loss and the irreversible impact that that this decision has had on my life and consider the full human cost of my father's death when determining sentence in this case. Respectfully, Cameron.
That's Taylor McKinnon. And, Matthew was my dad. My name is Taylor McKinnon, and Matthew David McKinnon is my dad and bestest friend. To be honest, there aren't words or sentences powerful enough to describe the impact that my father had on this world and my heart. So first, I'm going to share with you a poem that has brought me some comfort and understanding. We both died that day. The day the world kept turning, but mine stopped. The day people said, "You'll be okay," and I nodded, because I was still breathing. But breathing is not the same as living. A part of me went with you. A laugh I'll never laugh the same. A light that shines, never quite as bright. A version of me that only existed when you were here. I still wake up. I still move. I still answer when my name is called. But some days it feels like I'm just surviving inside the shadow of what we had. We both died that day. You in body, me in pieces. I carry the silence you left behind. I carry the words I never got to say. I carry the ache that doesn't ask permission before it floods my chest. And yet I keep breathing. For the love we shared, for the memories that still warm me, for the promise that somehow you are more than just a goodbye. Maybe I didn't stop living completely. Maybe I just became someone who loves across worlds. Someone who misses deeply. Someone who feels everything a little more sharply now. We both died that day. I just kept breathing. And with you, I carry every breath. My dad was my person. He never made me feel hard to love for my sadness. He cooked me steak and mashed potatoes when I wanted them. He begged me to sing for him, and he made me feel more beautiful than anyone I have ever met. He liked my style, he complimented my natural face and hair, and he would never back down from insisting they were any less than perfect. He loved me for me. My dad was one in a million. My heart breaks at the thought of my dad suffering. I wish I could take it all away and go back and tell him not to go. I can't stand the thought of his eyes wandering and him wondering if he will be okay. I wish I could have kissed him on his cheek and told him he's okay and that I love him. I am happy someone was there to remind him. I wish I could have laid on him and cried. I wish I could have been there for him when he died. It is so weird to say that my dad is dead. The callous hands that I used to try to heal with lotion when I was younger are torn apart and gone. His soft, hairy arms and prickly cheeks. Every kind and lovely part of his body was ruined by Dalahna Porter. When I was little, we used to dance to Cinderella by Stephen Curtis Chapman at the daddy-daughter dances. Please, daddy, please, and I'll dance with Cinderella while she is still here in my arms. Used to make me cry even then, and now it destroys me, because I would give it anything for one more dance. I would give it anything for him to walk me down the aisle at my future wedding, and I would give it anything to rest my head on his chest and to hear our song. I hope to God that one day Dalahna Porter works to pursue a life like the one that she stole. And I hope to God that she gets a long, long time to think about the choice she made to kill a man far too pure for this world. His funeral was the biggest anyone had seen. It was far too big for a funeral home. It was far too big for anywhere. My daddy is far too loved to be gone so soon. Dalahna Porter, you will eventually move forward from this night, but I never will. And the worst part is that you get to keep living your life while my dad never got to finish his. Matthew David will never be a statistic. He was my person, and I will spend the rest of my life missing him. Thank you for listening.
Morning. Could you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Katie Dyer.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
How are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am the sister of Matt McKinnon. The focus of my letter today is to speak about the man my brother was, the life he lived, the measurable impact his absence has had on me and my family. To me,
was one of the best older brothers a girl could have asked for. You've heard from many, there are 7 of us kids, the 6 boys and me, and Matt was right smack dab in the middle. He had a way of looking out for me, encouraging me, and more importantly, being present in my life. He had such a tender heart. He spoke gently and with kindness, and he had the warmest smile, a fun sense of humor. He enjoyed every moment he could try teasing me just to get me going whenever he could. We've had the longest time joke of who made no bakes better. I wish he was here right now to tell him his word. Family gatherings are no longer the same, nor family trips. There's a constant void now. Matt showed up for nearly everything, big and small. He loved being present and involved. Every time I see a blue F-150, I think of my brother. Every time I hear a motorcycle, I look over my shoulder. Whether Matt was in his truck or his motorcycle, he enjoyed taking our side street on his way home just to do a drive-by. I miss seeing my brother pass by, waving with that great big smile of his. I miss dropping by GH Printing to have our nice talks in his office. I miss him every single day. The night Matt died, we were all brought together at one of my brother's homes where we found out one by one that our Matt was gone in an instant. I will never forget that drop to my knees. I will never forget that look on my sister-in-law's face. Seeing my niece cry out that her daddy was no longer here. My nephew, whose world changed in an instant. Each of my brother's faces. Seeing my mom lying flat on the grass, weeping in agony. My dad trying to be strong and a comfort to us all until he simply could not bear it anymore. I will never forget telling my husband why I was called over to my brother's home, or the look in my older son's eyes that night he witnessed the world of so many people he loved shattered. I will never forget the way my daughter found out the following morning, or the moment I sat my youngest son down and watched his little heart break. I will never forget that day ever. The pain was far too great. I visit the place where Matt died often. Going to that place of impact seems to be the only closure I've been able to find throughout this tragedy. We were never given the opportunity to see him one last time. Only told that he was gone. The day after he died, we went to the crash site and we could see paint marks in the grass and on the road showing where his body had lain and where his belongings were scattered. I do not have the right words to describe how that felt. When I stop and truly think about how impactful my brother's death has been, it hurts knowing just how hard he worked to build a prosperous life for his family. He was also the type of man who would drop anything to help a family or a friend. He was truly one of a kind, and his life was cut short tragically at the young age of 49. He had so much life ahead of him, and the loss to our family and community has been devastating. What hurts the most is knowing that the world continues while ours will always carry this loss. We are left grieving a future that was taken from him and from us. Thank you.
Your Honor, my name is McKinnon. I am Matt's younger brother. Matt was giving. He was generous with a big heart. He genuinely cared about people and wanted to see them succeed. If you were stuck in the ditch in the middle of winter, Matt was the one you called. He would be there in 10 minutes, no questions asked. As his little brother, I've always felt safe knowing he was there. He was consistent, driven, protective. He was the kind of person you could rely on without hesitation. My wife and I have 2 younger children, and we talk about Uncle Matt often. He was fun, he was kind, he was full of life. He was someone who made people feel better just by being around him. That's something they've lost far too early. Matt and I built a 47-year relationship together. We grew up side by side, learning, failing, laughing, figuring life out. That relationship wasn't finished. Who Matt was to me is a bond that can never be replaced. I truly believe he would be there with me through our entire lives. that we would grow old together and become grandparents and look back on everything we built side by side. We shared a lifetime of experiences growing up, becoming men, navigating relationships, business, and life. There was a level of trust, support, and understanding between us that didn't always need words. My heart aches for his loss. I find myself trying to put the pieces back together, but they don't fit anymore. My brother was the best. There's no question about that in my mind, and you've heard everybody say the same. Since his death, I've spent time trying to hold things together, including stepping into his business and working to keep it alive every day. I'm reminded not just of what I've lost, but what his wife and his children have lost, and our entire family are now forced to live without. His absence just isn't something I feel, it's something I live with every single day, and there are moments where I could have called him, leaned on him, or simply shared life with him, and now I can't. This wasn't just a loss, it was preventable. The world feels less safe without him in it, and a permanent emptiness in my life that will never be replaced. Your Honor, I ask you to consider the full weight of his loss when sentencing. Matt's life mattered deeply, and the impact of losing him will stay with us forever. Thank you for hearing me today.
Thank you.
My name is Daniel McKinnon. I'm the brother of Matthew McKinnon.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I am the brother of Matt David McKinnon, who died August 6, 2025, as a result of operating while intoxicated offense. I'm here today so the court can understand what Matt's death has done to our family, emotionally, physically, financially, professionally, and generationally. Our community also suffered a real loss. Matt was a small business owner, an employer, a mentor, a man who quietly helped people who were in need. If I had to describe Matt in one phrase, it would be, Matt was steady, selfless man who lived for others, the kind of person that people leaned on in difficult times because they knew he would always be there for them. Matt was the cornerstone of our family. He was selfless in a way that was hard to describe unless you experienced it. He would give the shirt off his back with no questions asked. He poured into his family, his employees, and the community. Everyone mattered to him. Matt was the kind of person people trusted because he made them feel safe. He was not judgmental. People could come to him with anything. He did not speak just to be heard, but when he did speak, he carried weight. On a personal level, Matt was the person our family called upon when life went sideways. If my car broke down, I'd call Matt. If one of my kids needed help or needed something to learn practical, Matt was always there. He was patient, he was steady, and he never made someone feel small. Matt was our family's emergency contact, not because anyone assigned that role, but because he lived that way. He was dependable, he was safe, he was kind, he was never judgmental, he was even-keeled, calm under pressure, and steady when others were overwhelmed. He was the person everyone called when something went wrong, and now that presence is gone. Our lives are divided into before August 6, 2025, and after. I no longer can pick up the phone and talk to my brother. I no longer hear his voice, asking for advice, or be shaped by him one more time. Not a day goes by I'm not impacted by the fact that he's not here. Almost 10 months after this, and the pain is still fresh. His wife Carrie, his children, Cameron and Taylor, now live with this permanent absence. They will face milestones that should be included with their husband and father, his guidance, his protection, his laughter, his steady presence. Our parents now carry a weight of heartbreak bearing a child. No parent should live with that. His business, his employees lost a steady and benevolent leader. Our community lost a man who consistently showed up for others. This is not temporary. This is lasting harm. Grief changes everything. His absence is a daily reminder of what we lost. Holidays and birthdays are different. Family gatherings are different. Work is different. Even driving feels different, especially at intersections and at night, because this death did not have to happen. This was not a random tragedy. It was a preventable death caused by the choice of driving while intoxicated. I do not want my brother's life to be defined by the way he died, but I do want the seriousness of how he died to fully be recognized. Your Honor, I understand the court determines the sentence. I am not here to tell you how to do your job. I'm here to tell you the cost. Because this death caused by impaired driving, I respectfully ask the court to impose a sentence that reflects accountability, public safety, and the value of the life that was taken. I ask for meaningful incarceration, followed by the strictest supervision that the law provides. If Ms. Porter is released back to the community, I ask the supervision include alcohol monitoring, verified treatment compliance, strict driving restrictions, substance use treatment participation in a verified recovery program, and accountability-focused community service. If driving is ever permitted again, I ask the court to require safeguards, such as ignition, interlock, and compliance monitoring. Accountability should be strong enough to reduce the risk of another family living the way we live now. Ms. Porter, I hope you understand, or one day you will fully understand, what your decision has taken from our family. My brother was not just a name on a court file. He was a husband. He was a father. He was a son. He was a brother, an uncle, a business owner, a man deeply loved by many. As a person of faith, I choose forgiveness because I would not allow bitterness and emotional bondage to control the rest of my life. I choose to forgive, but forgiveness does not erase accountability. It does not remove the consequences of actions. My prayer is that through rehabilitation, we will fully understand the impact of our choices over how you respond at this point going forward, Ms. Porter. You can choose to live differently. You can choose to accept responsibility. You can choose to have a positive impact on others by the way you live going forward. Matthew was not replaceable. He mattered deeply to Carrie, to Cameron, to Taylor, to our family, to his employees, and to everyone who knew him. I ask the court to sentence in a way that honors that truth. Thank you for allowing me to be heard.
Thank you.
Your Honor, there's not much more I can say about Mr. McKinnon and how incredible he was. I searched high and low on what I could say and make the impact, and I don't think I can do it. But what I can say is, there's Scotty McCurry song called The Dash. And what it talks about is the dash between the two days on that song, and how people live their life during that dash is the most important thing that we should consider. I think we heard it today. In regards to Ms. Porter, I did read the sentencing memorandum. I understand that it was repetitively stated that it was intended to do nothing more than shed light on why this behavior happened. Well, watching the video of her blowing through a stop sign, not making any effort to stop and just turning right into Mr. McKinnon, she chose all those. She chose to drive, she chose to drink. When confronted with drinking, she initially lied about it. There was a bottle in her car. Nope, I'm not drunk. Nope, I didn't drink. She was so beyond intoxicated, she couldn't even make sense of what she was saying. Your Honor, I ask the court to impose the top of the guidelines in this case. I think it warrants it, and I think Ms. Porter's actions are deserving of that.
Thank you. Mr. Paul, anything you'd like to say before sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to start off by saying that my intent here isn't to take away from anything the McKinnon family is suffering. I know it's an immeasurable loss that they're feeling now, and my goal is to not take away from that at all, just to remind everyone in this courtroom that Ms. Porter is still a human being. She is taking this with her for the rest of her life. She is carrying this to today, and she's going to be carrying this with her along with her sentence. She's taking it seriously. She's taking accountability here. She entered a guilty plea. She knows what happened, and she knows she needs to make it right. She has already started counseling. She completed an alcohol class. I believe I submitted that to the court along with the prosecution. She is taking this very seriously. My only goal is to show that she is still a human being with different lived experience from any one of us. When she was 7 years old, she almost lost her life because she was in a classroom and hit her head on the desk. Didn't know how serious it was at first. She was taken to the emergency room in Ludington, and it was so bad they had to airlift her to Grand Rapids for emergency surgery. There was a 50% chance she was even going to live. So that has shaped her entire life. And again, I'm not saying this to take away from what happened here. A life was lost, and I do recognize that. Ms. Porter does recognize that. But that has affected how she's grown up and how she lives her day-to-day life. She was going to have a bright future. She had a scholarship opportunity for athletics, but she couldn't make it happen because she didn't have a normal life. She didn't have a normal thinking process, and all of that's outlined in the research that we submitted to the court. I hope that the court takes into account the research memorandum we sent in, the mitigation report we sent in, because it does show that Ms. Porter is not a career criminal. This was a choice made that ended in an unimaginable tragedy, and it wasn't done with malice. I ask the court to take all that into consideration when fashioning the court sentence.
Thank you. Ms. Porter, anything you'd like to say before sentencing?
I would like to apologize to the family and anyone that has been affected. I know I made a mistake. I know it could have been prevented, but I know I never wanted this to happen, so I'm sorry, everyone.
Thank you. Drinking and driving causing death is a 15-year. And it just boggles my mind that the legislature feels that if somebody decides to get behind the wheel, they are so intoxicated that the life they take is not on their scale as extremely important as someone else. Drinking and driving causes a loss on both sides. Because the person who has committed this crime, in this case, absolutely 22 years old, absolutely no criminal record, nothing. Now is going to prison because of a choice she made that took somebody else's life. And could I ever give a sentence that this family of the victim would feel that it was adequate for the value of his life? Absolutely not. I can't even pretend to tell this family that any sentence in this court would value his life, because his life mattered. He mattered. And there is no amount of time that I could give the defendant that would value his life and everything that was taken away from each and every person that was connected to him. But it is my job to give the sentence. Now, I don't always have a choice on the sentence. The sentence is given to me by the legislature. I can only give so much. But what I can do is I can look at the circumstances in this case and say what is deserved in this case on the amount that I can give. And I will let the family know at this time, it doesn't matter what I do. It does not bring him back. It is not justified. It is not valued in his life. So for that, I apologize, because that can't happen. As to Ms. Porter, you're 22 years old. You had a blood alcohol level of 0.22, which means you got behind that wheel and you drove and you felt that you were capable of driving. Now, when you feel that you're capable of driving at a 0.22, that means that you're an experienced drinker. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen just this one time. You're an experienced drinker at a 0.22 to be able to still get behind a wheel and operate it. Did you make a choice? Did you fly through a stop sign? Maybe you didn't see it. Maybe reading, maybe something else, maybe because of the alcohol. We don't know. But you did that. And you chose to get behind that wheel. Because of those actions, the victim's family have to go through their entire life with a loss that cannot be replaced. It is the sentence of the court that you serve 57 months to 15 years at the Michigan Department of Corrections. 3 days credit, $68 state charge, $130 crime victim fund, $450 court cost. Nothing can ever bring back the life, but you will eventually get out of jail. And this will follow with you for the rest of your life. And I'm hoping that you do not make the same decision and do this to another child. You have the right to file an application for leave to appeal your conviction sentence if you are financially unable to afford an attorney. One would be appointed for you at public expense. You have 42 days from today's date to appeal. Probation, did I miss anything?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
This is a drinking and driving. I got a prosecutor reimbursement fee of $450, fines of $500. Sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We are off the record.